I've been here for quite a while. Those of you who I have not met yet, I'm Penny. And I met Jay when Murray and I were building our stores in the West Bay Mall. And as many of you know, I am not a nighttime party girl. I'm a day girl, worker bee. But I think I possibly knew Jay very well in a way that you did not, possibly. And it turns out that once I started selling the book, The Roatan Odyssey, Jay and I had many, many talks, and he was unbelievably knowledgeable about pirates, the facts that he knew. And I've always been fascinated with the pirates of the Caribbean, especially the female pirates. And he managed to get out of me a Roatan Odyssey book. And once he read it, nothing would do but that we had to follow the story. Well, we ended up taking 2 trips out to Port Royal where Anne Jennings Brown built her home and where the story came from. And the first trip we took was with Murray and his parents. So those are the photos that I chose to put on Facebook because it had special meaning to Murray and his parents, who I know very well. And we had a wonderful day, and it was just amazing how much he knew. And we also shared stories, daytime stories, about the apparitions that we both saw separately on West Bay Road, and of the times in the 17th and 18th centuries. So there was a side to Jay that just really astonished me for his knowledge and his passion for the Caribbean. So the second trip that we took, we followed the book again, and this time Anne Jennings Brown, the author of the Roatan Odyssey, had a letter for me to read out loud to Muller, the ghost, and we went up where she would sit at sunset and have a drink with a parrot on her shoulder. And we went up there with Jay, and we toasted Anne Jennings Brown, and we read the story. Well, after that, Anne Jennings had given me specific directions to bring a Ouija board, and that night at midnight to talk to Muller the ghost. Well, there were 3 of us. It was my girlfriend Francine, me, and Big Brave Jay, the pirate person. It turned out to be a full moon, and it was midnight, and we were sitting outside. The little cursor pointer started flying around the Ouija board, and Jay immediately said, "Now I know you girls, you're just doing that, you're just pushing that around, I know you're just trying to scare me." And he got really, really nervous, and he said, "Okay, let's prove it. Ask the spirit who we're talking to." So I said, "Muller, if that's you, please give us some proof that we're talking to you." And the pointer spelled out the initials of Jay's father and my father. And neither one of us, of course, had any knowledge of that. With that, because of Anne Jennings Brown told me to be careful because it was a community of 5,000 pirates and there was a lot of bloodshed, to make sure who you're talking to, I asked, "Are you a good spirit?" And the pointer flew off the table. And Jay jumped up, and his eyes were huge, and he goes, "I know you girls are just fooling with me, this is ridiculous." And he ran off into the jungle back to his cabin, and that night, every single light was on in his cabin all night long. And I will never forget Big Brave Jay. So I hope right now he's having a cold one with all the ancient pirates that he loves so much, and all the recent pirates of Roatan that have passed. And Godspeed, my friend.